Welcome back to The Watch. And Nathan, have you been keeping up to date with what's happening with Elon Musk and Disney and Twitter?
Vaguely. I see, the way I get my news is through Twitter, through X.
Oddly enough.
And so usually it's through snippets and not understanding how this all started.
So one of the main uses, as in positive uses for X Twitter, there isn't a lot, but in terms of getting breaking news shared, and usually unedited, but you have to be very careful because there is like
Lots of edited stuff too.
yeah, but when a general because Twitter's community notes is actually pretty good,
Yeah.
and that clears up a lot. But no, you get news pretty quickly through X Twitter, and so that's a good service. That's a good service to keep track of. So Elon Musk, of course, is an advocate for free speech. Now, I have respected Elon Musk for a while, but recent events have actually caused me to have a even greater positive view of him because, to me, he's actually showing some commendable moral fiber. It's one thing to proclaim doing the right thing to the
majority,
of the world, but to do the right thing in face of criticism and hate, that's when someone's true moral fiber comes out. So, in case people don't know, there's actually, it's like a series of events, and it started, I think it was Media Matters or some company misrepresenting what is actually displayed on Twitter, and I guess having advertiser content next to what people claim to be troublesome content on X Twitter. Elon Musk also made some comments that did not go down very well, and even he admitted were poorly kind of framed, which he's apologized for and recontextualized. But it's like blood in the water. People have there's a lot of companies that are against free speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just freedom in general, I think.
Oh, there's that as well. And they have been waiting for any kind of opportunity to, I guess, take Elon down because they don't like what he's doing. And his, tweet that was poorly framed, that was an opportunity that many people saw. And so certain companies chose to pull their ads off of Twitter, Disney being a large one, trying to claim it was what?
It's Elon's fault. You keep going, because I'll have my opinion of it as well, because when companies try to virtue signal, it's very easy to point out their flaws by previous decisions they've made in other areas.
Disney is one of the biggest hypocritical companies ever, where they proclaim, we support diversity and we are race-changing all these characters because we're not racist, basically. And then they will hide those diverse characters on posters in China or thank regions in China that had concentration camps in them and everything, and they're all about those rainbow flags during a certain month, except in the countries,
but that's not okay.
Right? And suddenly the diversity push doesn't exist in countries that actually might need a bit more tolerance and openness. All right, and so Disney and all the companies, it's all performative, virtue signaling, hollow, vapid nonsense, okay? These are actually not moral companies because they're actually doing really, really dodgy stuff. And one of the responses that's come out of this is the famous interviews that happened recently. And if you've been on X Twitter or really anywhere, you've probably seen it. I've talked about it on Friday Night Tights. It's just, Elon, this is where I like, all right, good on you, mate. You're earning more of my respect with this. He tells Disney and anyone who's taking their advertiser, things off of Twitter to go F themselves, and then calls them that's one that's like, okay. The key part that really I think is important. Elon calls him out. He says he sees all these people trying to appear to be good while doing evil, and I'm like, yes, we've been saying that for a while, and seeing someone with a platform like Elon also, putting himself at odds against the mainstream in this sense, calling me out, was bloody brilliant. And it's like, I salute you, sir. And it's a theme that I've been noticing for a while, and it's even scriptural.
Yes.
Like you know, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and there's a phrase in the Book of Mormon that comes up multiple times that says, "Woe unto them that call good evil and evil good." I see that in the world a lot, where things that are actually evil, people are promoting as good, right? Elon calls that out and is like, "Oh, that was very, very good of you." Since then, right, one of the claims of why they've taken the things off of Twitter X is because of they claimed Elon had anti-Semitic remarks and there's anti-Semitism on the platform. I don't see much of that.
Personally, I don't either, but I'm a different sphere.
We do, probably in certain bubbles. But the thing is, though, okay, people kind of decided that there's I don't know which did it, but basically was able to rate the amount of anti-Semitic content on different platforms. And between like Meta, Facebook, and Instagram, especially recently with certain comments about the Jewish people and Israel and everything like that, vastly more anti-Semitic comments on these other platforms than X. And
well, even like if you put into all the social media in general, you even got things like YouTube and like other content creation platforms which just spurn out that type of content tremendously. I feel like they always try to light on Elon, at least, because he's kind of like the poster boy for Twitter, where if you go to these other platforms, they're not doing the same thing for some strange reason.
Well, it again proves this is all performative on their behalf. They don't actually care about anti-Semitic content because they're still advertising on Facebook and all these other platforms that have more anti-Semitic, material than anything close on X Twitter. In fact, since Elon took it over, he's cleaned up a lot of dodgy content on X Twitter, right? And so what this really shows is that they're after Elon. They want to take him down. That's the mask-off thing. And one of the things why they're after him is because he supports free speech. Like on Twitter, people can actually say things that would not fly on other platforms now, because the extreme left and the mainstream, which panders to them and it also is infected by them, they don't want open conversation exposing hypocrisy and just the flaws in their ideology, because it can't stand up to scrutiny. So what they've been doing is trying to censor and shame. They say, "You are an evil, vile bigot for disagreeing with me." Disassociating and stuff, which I've experienced that in my own sphere, because I am a more right-leaning conservative Christian. I'm outspoken here on Night's Watch, and that has caused certain people to publicly disassociate themselves with me. And then I call them out. So of course I'm talking about Matt Easton when he decided to. We had a good day of collaboration, and he decides to throw me under the bus for being concern trolled by other people when I hold views that are very, very bland, in all honesty, in regards to Christian conservatism. So I called him out. So I was like, okay, so if I'm too problematic to associate with, what does that mean about your own fan base? You probably have a good portion of your own viewers that hold views similar to mine. And then he went on to try and say, no, I don't have a problem with conservative Christians. He even sent me a direct message actually saying, "I don't think you're evil," even though he said, "I don't think you're a bad person." Even though he was calling me a bad person, terrible things in all these other chats. So complete hypocrisy there. And that proved that, okay, so if he actually doesn't have a problem with Christian conservatives, what is his issue with me? The fact I'm outspoken about it, and not just that I'm hated for it. And that some of that negativity, and it's not like if he ignored it, it would have been nothing, right? But certain, trolls tried to say, you would be a bad person for associating with me. And that's what caused him to do it. See, Disney, that's the same thing with Disney, right? They don't actually care about anti-Semitism, okay? They just, don't like Elon and they want to take him down. And they don't like, and it's the fact that he's outspoken about it. Because there are a lot of people probably that have same views as Elon that they're happy to work with. As long as they stay in the closet and shut up about it, right? So what's your thoughts on all this so far?
I just always laugh at this because they're always, talking about inclusivity and
Tolerance, right?
And then they seem to be the most intolerant.
Good, well said. They really are.
And I don't know, it just baffles me in terms of this, like with Elon. I feel like because it's the only reason why they're doing all this stuff is because he's outspoken. Because I think of the TikTok CEO. He's from Singapore, and recently he was in the US defending TikTok or whatever. Very well spoken, a very good CEO. But I think because he's not outspoken of his opinions of things, people aren't scrutinizing him as much. If anything, people are like, yeah, you go, buddy, because you're a well-spoken man. But because Elon says something a little bit more spicy, controversial, says his mind a bit more freely, people are more likely to scrutinize him. And it's just crap when these big businesses, like we were saying with Disney and all these other people, like they're going to keep advertising on all these other platforms. And I reckon, in a few weeks' time, I'll start seeing Disney Plus adverts again on X, on Twitter.
Most likely, although Iger might double down out of spite for Elon calling him out. And because he literally says, go F yourself, hi Bob, in it, right? And then, just like recently, last day or so, Elon has actually been making, posts saying Bob Iger should be fired, right? Because something else has come out. There is a lawsuit being levied against Meta, and I think it's Instagram, but I don't know if Facebook is one of the big ones, for supporting and helping facilitate, just the platform being used to facilitate child trafficking and sexual abuse. Have you seen that?
I haven't, but that's always very alarming.
Right. Guess who still advertises on these platforms? Disney does! It's a hypocrisy. If this same report came out about Twitter, everyone, Disney would be
bounce off.
Exactly,
Yep.
They would use it as the justification to flame Twitter and everything like that. And it goes to show you, it's not about the principle to them, okay? It's about going after the person that they are intolerant of.
They want to take revenge because Elon took Twitter away from their friends, and now they're mad at... that's the thing, when Twitter got bought up by Elon, I had so many people, like game devs specifically, who were more left-leaning. They all jumped ship. They all bounced off. And it's funny, they keep bouncing back saying, hey, is this place still bad? And, has it blown up yet? And we're like, no, we're still here. Everything's still fine. How's Blue Sky for you? Yeah? Big, spacious, empty building, isn't it? Yeah? They're only doing it because they have a vendetta against him. If you make it faceless, then there's no boogeyman.
Yeah. And so, overall, all of this, Elon has actually impressed me. Now, of course we don't agree on everything. And I probably still have some reservations about certain bannings on Twitter, though it seems like the official, I think it was the official Twitter X thing, responded about a question, and it was from the Quartering, I believe, about bringing Alex Jones back on the platform. And that it basically was kind of like, we'll consider it. And it's like, okay, is Twitter really actually being true to its free speech stance? Where before, there were cases where, and I'm technically still in place, where, and people are banned. And I agree, some instances, like some actions, are bannable, right? But in terms of free speech, reasons, I'm very much falling on the side of free speech in this regard, right? And so, there were reservations about it, but Elon is actually showing, as I mentioned at the beginning, actual true moral character here. Willing to take attacks, the metaphorical stones from thousands of people, right, to stand on principle. And it's such a rare thing to see someone in this position who really is moral. Like Bob Iger at Disney, these CEOs. I remember the statements the CEO of Patreon was saying as well.
Oh, yeah.
They're all full of it, right? They're actually supporting evil principles, anti-free speech, banning and censorship and stuff like that, right? While posing to be good. All these companies that put the rainbow on their bio, but then, no, they don't do it on other countries, right? They're all full of it. And, it's disgusting that they're trying to pose to be so good, where push comes to shove, they cave every single time. In actual fact, you find that they're doing opposites behind the scenes, and they're full of vile, disgusting, evil people. Elon, push comes to shove, we get to see some of his true fibre and character, and is actually standing by it. And so, wow, Elon, you have my bloody support, mate. Thank you for standing up for what you're doing, and keep doing it. I like. It's funny. Twitter might. He says Twitter. This could destroy the company because Twitter relies on advertising and everything. Though that, to me, that gives him pretty strong legal precedent to go after the companies that actively kind of lied to take down Twitter. It's like he could probably, sue him for a lot of money.
Possibly, but I just, I don't know. Thinking about it all, I think a lot of these big companies, unlike Elon, who we may not agree with everything that he does or says, but he has principles and he stands on them. These other companies they basically follow trends. Yeah. That's all they do. It's cool to be this thing now, and in 10, 20 years, they'll be completely different to how they were before.
They also try and lie and gaslight about what the trends really are and ignore the vast amount of people in the world that totally disagree with them.
Yeah.
That's why they wanted to mold Twitter into an echo chamber that reflected their worldview to make it seem like everyone was on board when we're not.
Yeah.
So many people are not. But Elon actually has a positive view of... Well, these are some of the other positive things. He has a positive view for humanity. For one, is against the whole, we need to reduce the Earth population type of thing. He's like, no, we need more people. People is the greatest resource on Earth. He's trying to get us to be a multiplanetary species. These are really positive things. And he's pushing for a more positive future where you see, like, Bill Gates is like, we need to reduce the Earth population. We gotta... And all this crazy kind of stuff, especially when you get onto the whole ESG philosophy that so many companies are on board with, right? They're wanting to re-engineer the world where you'll own nothing and be happy. There are so many companies on board with that insane evil, right? And Elon's one of the few, people who's like pushing back against it. Bloody brilliant. So, I guess we'll get to pay attention to see what happens in the future, but it's been a wild ride so far, and the takeaway for this, Disney is just burning more and more from it all. Like, they've
taken lots of L's this year, and they're going to keep taking more, I think.
And even Elon calling him out, like, it's not... We don't have confirmed numbers exactly how much it caused unsubscriptions to happen on Disney+, but there were, a wave of people unsubscribing from Disney, and they're just like... They're getting what they deserve. It's just glorious. Stay on watch.